Okay, this is the higher mock non-calculator paper. This was not used in an official exam, but it's a good practice paper to go through. Question 1. Write 32 out of 80 as a percentage. I show my workings. All I've done is got 80 as down to something over that goes into 100. So I divided by 8 to get it over 10. You could have divided by 4 to get it over 20, and the same thing with the top. And you multiply it up, it gets to 40 over 100. 40 over 100 is 40%, because percent means out of 100. The one underneath, Jack sows 300 wildflower seeds. The probability of a flower seeding is 0.7. Write an estimate for a number of these flower seeds that will flower. Well, you do the number of times it happens, so 300 multiplied by the probability, so 300 times 0.7 is 210. You could break it down to do it as a percentage, because 0.7 is 70%, so I've done it that way. Question number 3. Express 120 as a product of its prime factors. There you go. This is when you break it down like this. You can see what I've done, and the answer is all the prime numbers at the bottom multiplied to get together, or even better, you can use 2 cubed times 3 times 5. Find the highest common factor of 90 and 120. There is a long-winded way you can do this with Venn diagrams and so on, but you should be able to look at 90 and 20 and work out that 30 is the highest number that goes into both of them, so it's the highest common factor. Question 4. List of ingredients for making 12 small cakes. Joe wants to make 24 of them, so you need to double what you need, double the margarine, you get 360. Sharon is going to make 18 of the small cakes, so work out the amount of flour she needs. So because you know the amount for 12 and you want to know the amount for 18, what I've done, I've halved this to find 6, and then you can simply add it on afterwards, if that makes any sense. So I've halved the amount of flour you need, so it's 100 grams, you add it on, and the answer is 300 grams. Just get the light a bit better for you there. Right, next one, question 5. Do an enlargement, here it is. Let's go through this one with you nice and gradually. There we go. Right. On the grid, enlarge the shape shaded, so that's this one here, by scale factor 3 around centre A. The way I do this one is start off at centre A, and how do you get to this point here? So you go across 2, then up 1. So because it's scale factor 3, I triple that. So across 2, up 1 becomes across 6, which takes you to here, up 3, which takes you to here. And you do the same for this one. So this is across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and up 1. So scale factor 3, that'd be across 15 and then up 1. So that's how you do that one. There is a way, you do it with all the corners obviously, there's a way of checking. If you draw out from this cross here, you should go straight through lots of points. So put your pen on that, go out through there, and you see you hit those 2 points together, and the same thing will happen with the one on top. In fact, I think it joins up the slope, which is quite nice. There you go. So something a little bit like that. Okay, next one, question 6. Find the value of v when b equals -4. I've done them separately. Zoom in a little bit so you can see all my workings for it. There you go. 3b is 3 times -4, which is -12. 2b squared, don't forget your BIDMAS or BODMAS rule here, you must do the index number first. So do b squared first. So -4 squared is -4 times -4, which is 16, and obviously 2 times 16 is 32. So you're left with -12, add 32, which gives you 20. Next one, simplify m to the 6 times m to the 7. Well, what you do there, because they're index numbers, is you add them, so that gives you m to the 13. X to the power 0, anything to the power 0 is always 1. And simplify the bottom one. To the power a half means square root. So you need to square root 16, so that's 4, and you half the index of y, so that becomes 3. So the answer should be 4y to the power 3. Next one, Guy wants to find out how much time people spend watching television. There's various answers you can put for this, but this is my one. How much television do you watch per week? The reason I have underlined per week is because you need a time scale, and you need at least 4 response boxes. Here's mine. 0 hours, 0 plus to 2, 2 plus to 4, and 4 or more hours. Notice how none of these overlap, because if you watched it for exactly 2 hours, you tick this one. If you watched it for 2 hours and 1 second, you tick this one. So your response boxes must not overlap. Question number 8. A school canteen offers different meal choices. Here they are. Students can choose salad or pizza, or there we go, it's all written there anyway. One student chooses at random. Work out the probability that the student chooses meat pie or fish. You simply add them up, so you get 0.39. The other one chooses pizza. Well, pizza is the one they haven't given you. So what you need to know is that all these numbers here will add up to 1. So here's my workings on it here. I've added them up, get 0.59. 1 take away 0.59 is 0.41. And there's your answer. Question 9. Janice asked 100 students if they like biology, chemistry or physics the best. Right, here's what I've done. I've drawn a two-way table and I've filled in the things we're told. And I've done it in blue ink, although sadly it doesn't show up very well on this, but I'll try and do my best to explain it. So there's 100 students altogether, we're told that at the top. 38 of them are girls, so the girls' total is 38. 21 of the girls like biology best, so that's that one. 18 boys like physics best, so they go in there. And 7 of the 23 students who like chemistry best, so chemistry, 23 students there, 7 of them are girls. Once you know this information, you can work out your answer. This one here you can work out as being 10. Once you know that's 10, you can work out that as being 28. And once you know that's 28, you can work out that as being 49, which is what the question wants. How many people like biology the best? I haven't bothered to work out the rest of them because you simply don't need to. Question number 10. Mrs. Miller is planning a party for 70 children. She will give each child a party bag to take home. She will put a hat and a toy in each party bag. They're sold in packs of 12. Party bags are sold in packs of 12. Hats in packs of 9 and toys in packs of 9. 8, sorry, remember. So what you need to do, here you go. This is what they're sold in. So party bags, packs of 12. So she can buy either 12, 24, 36, 48 and so on. Hats, she can buy those. Toys, she can buy those. You need to find the number that is in all of these times tables but is over 70. Because she needs to do at least 70. So the answer is 72 because it comes up there, and it says how many more does she fill than she needs. Well, she needs 70, she's got 72, so she fills 2 more, which is your answer there. So there are all your workings. I'll leave that there for you. Question number 11, here you go. Last year's Kerry's take-home pay was £15,000. She spent 40% of her take-home pay on rent. The rest she used to pay for living expenses. Right, first of all, work out 40%. So 10% of 15,000. Sorry guys, the light is dreadful on this. Let's see if I can change that up a little bit. I don't know if that helps or makes it worse. We'll go with it for a bit. 10% of 15,000 is 10% of 15,000 is 1,500. So 40% is £6,000. So from her £15,000, she is left with £9,000. Right, the expenses, clothes and entertainment are done in a ratio of 3 to 1 to 2, 3 to 1 to 2. I like putting these in fractions, and because there's 6 parts altogether, 3 parts, 1 part, 2 part, 6 parts altogether, so that's 3/6, 1/6 and 2/6. So 1/6 of 9,000 is 1,500, so 2/6, which we need to know, which is entertainment, comes to £3,000, which is your answer for that one. Question number 12. Expand these brackets. Let's have a look, zoom right in on these. There you go, you should be okay with that. Obviously 12x add 3y. Next one, don't forget it's p squared, because p comes up twice. This next one, I've used my smiley face method, but you can use the grid method if you want. But as long as you get y squared, add 5y, take 24. Most people get the 5y wrong, because it's 8y, take away 3y, so it's 5. A lot of people struggle with this one. Expand and simplify. They don't like it when you put that squared sign. Don't forget, squared means times by itself. So I've just put 2t take 3 times 2t take 3. Underneath, I've shown you my workings there. So you should get 4t squared take 12t add 9. Next one, question 13. Make n the subject to the formula. Right, you've got to do lots of undoing here. Get rid of the h, so you take h off. So you get P take H is 6m. You want to get m on its own. What's happening to m? Well, it's been times by 6. How do you undo a times by 6? You divide by 6. So you divide both sides by 6. So you get P take H equals m. So the answer is, there you go, m equals P take H over 6. Question number 13. That was question number 13. Question number 14. Okay, this is a loco one, and the question is actually written incorrectly. I want to show you what's written incorrectly first. There is not a hedge along CB. Let's have a look at this one. It says, and closer to the hedge along DC than hedge along CB. Okay, let's have a look. DC is here. This should be DB. Okay, so that is CB should be DB. There you go. So if you've got this exam paper, please make that change. Right, I'll check the question. This is Mary's garden. She's going to put a bird bath in her garden, and the diagram shows a plan of it. There you go, all very nice. There is a wall along AB. So this is a wall along here. Let's write that on. There's your wall. There are hedges along the 3 other sides. So this is hedge, hedge, and hedge. There you go. Mary wants to put a bird bath somewhere, so at least 2 metres from wall AB. You've got a scale here, zoom in a little bit more. So 2 metres from AB, so that's going to be 2 centimetres from each one. You should do this in pencil. I'm going to do it in pen to make sure it shows up for you. So you mark those ones off there, and get your ruler, and you can draw that line along there. There you go, there's that one drawn there. So it's at least... Okay, sorry about that, got cut off. So I've drawn my 3 metres from around T, and the last one says, and closer to the hedge along DC, so that closer to that hedge than it is closer to this hedge along DB. So you've got to bisect this angle. If you've done this before, this will look familiar. If not, you might not know what to do. What you need to do to bisect angle is this. Now, it doesn't matter how far apart this compass is now to do this trick. It's not a trick, but it's a proper bit of maths. But it's got to be the same for you doing this move here. So put your pin in at point D there and make a mark there and mark up there. And keeping it the same distance, you need to draw a line, put your pin in there where it meets there, an arc there and an arc here. And where those 2 lines cross, which is here, you need to draw a line that connects that with the corner. Hopefully you can see that there. There you go. So that is bisecting the angle. So what that means basically is that's 45 degrees and that's 45 degrees. So the region in which she could have her bird bath, remember it's got to be at least 3 metres away from T. It's got to be closer to this hedge down here, and it's got to be quite a way away from that wall at the top. So it could be anywhere in there. Question 15. Diagram shows a trapezium. Work out the area. We're told the perimeter is 38 centimetres. Let's zoom in so you can see that one properly. So the perimeter is 38. I've added some of my own numbers on up here. I'll go through them in a minute. So the perimeter is 38. 2x add 1, add 3x takes 2, add 3x add 1, add 2x equals 38. And that's exactly what I've written down here. Now you need to group your x's and your numbers. So there's 2x, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10x, take away minus 1 add 1 is 0 minus 2. So 10x take 2 is 38. Then you need to do a little bit of algebra with this. Add 2 to both sides. So 10x is 40. And divide by 10, so x equals 4. Once you know x equals 4, you can actually put lengths to the sides. Because 2 4s are 8, take 1 gives you 7. 2 4s are obviously 8. 3 4s are 12, add 1 is 13. You don't actually need that one but to work out the area, but there we go. I've redrawn it at the bottom, and here it is, and I've split it up. So there's my rectangle, so 7 times 8 is 56. Here's my triangle. I know that's 6, because the whole lot is 13, and that's 7. So that must be 6. So 6 base times height divided by 2 is 24. 56 add 24 is 80, and that is your answer, 80 centimetres. There we go. Right, question 16. Right, these ones come up quite a lot. There are lots of different ways of doing this. I'm going to show you what I think is the simplest way. You've been asked to work out what this angle is in there. Right, you're told that they're all regular pentagons, and that's an equilateral triangle. So I put in 60, 60, 60 because it's equilateral. You need to work out what these angles are in here. Now I know I've marked them 108, but let me show you where that comes from. You need to work out how many degrees are in a pentagon, and this is what you do. In a triangle there's 180, in a square or rectangle or any four-sided shape there's 360, and in a pentagon there's 540. I know that because every time I add a side you add 180 degrees. Okay, and so in a hexagon with 6 sides there'll be 120, for example. So we know they're all the same, so do 540 divided by 5 gives you 108. So that's why I know they're both 108 degrees in there. Once I know they're 108, I know there's 360 degrees in a full turn, and here's the maths down here. 360, take away 108, take 108, take 60. Well, I don't know if I've added them up then, taking it away. And I get 84 degrees as my final answer. Please have a look at the workings I've done on that. There you go. Question 17. This is very nasty and fiddly, but I'll leave that there and try and talk you through it. Henry wants to earn as much interest as possible on his investment. He invests £4,000 for 2 years. He can choose 2 different banks. So Bank A, let me show you this in case you don't have the exam paper, earns 3% per annum compound interest, and Bank B 3.2% per annum simple interest. First things first, simple interest is, well, obviously it's simpler, but if you earn 3.2% 1 year, they give that to you, and then you start from where you were originally. So in this case, you'd be starting from £4,000 again. Compound interest is when it keeps adding on and adding on over time. You need to be aware of that. So Bank A, here's my workings. I'll talk you through them. I won't go on for too long because its workings are there. You've got to work out 3% per annum interest. So start off with this. After 1 year, 1% of 4,000 is 40, so 3% is £120. So after 1 year, you've got £4,120. You've got to find 3% of this and add it on. So 1% is £41.20, so 3% is that. Then you add it on, and that is what you get after 2 years, £4,243.60. Bank B, I don't know why the light's gone again for this, it's quite frustrating. You've got to work out 3.2%. So 1% is 40, 0.1%, which you need that in a minute, is £4, so 0.2% is £8. So to find 3.2%, you want 40, 40, 40, and 8, so that's £128 per year. And what the bank does is send that to you in the form of a cheque, so you'll obviously get 2 of those, so theoretically at the end of 2 years you'd have £4,256. So which one would you have more money? Well, it's Bank B, because it's this one. Certainly get some marks down for that, you should be alright. Question 18, here we go. Similar triangles. What you've got to spot, when I say similar, they're different sizes, but look, how you go from 4 to 6, you times by 1.5. So you times by 1.5 on all of the sides to go across. So to find the length of DF, which is the bottom one here, you do 9 times 1.5. So 9 times 1 is 9. A half of 9 is 4.5. So 9 at 4.5 is 13.5, which is how you work that one out. The bottom one, the length of BC. Right, so BC is here. So you've got something times 1.5 gives you 10.5. And what I've done here is actually written out like that. So that's the length of BC we're trying to find out. Timesing by 1.5 equals 10.5, because that's the length of EF at the top. I just did in my head a bit of trial and error with this because I don't like doing 10.5 divided by 1.5. You could do, but I don't like it. So I tried 6, it was too small. Then I just tried 7. 7 times 1 is 7. Half of 7 is 3.5. Add it up, and you get the answer. So the answer to that is 7. Question number 19. Solve the simultaneous equations. I'll leave that there so you can see what I've done. I hope that shows up. Let's zoom in a little bit actually. Okay, here's the first bit. I want to get the y's the same, so I've doubled the top bit. So that gives me 10x, take 4y equals 26. You've got negative 4y and positive 4y. To get them to be 0, you add. So that's why I've shown that I added. And you're left with 17x equals 34. So 1x is 2. So if x is 2, I've taken this bit down here. There we go. So I know x is 2. So 7 2s are 14. So 14 adds something equals 8. So 14 adds, actually minus 6 equals 8. So 4y is minus 6. Divide both sides by 4. So y is actually minus 1.5. So my answer for that is there. X is 2 and y is minus 1.5. Question number 20. Okay, there's a couple. So draw the cumulative frequency diagram. First thing is you've got to draw the diagram, which is here. There we go. I hope you've got the numbers because I don't want to read them all out. So you plot them on 10 and on 20, on 30, on 40, on 50, and on 60. Sorry, folks, I'm trying to get it so you can actually see it. There you go. That's much better. So I plotted it, so you get 2 marks for doing that. When you draw your line down, you must use a pencil. Don't draw a collection of straight lines to connect them up with. It's got to be a smooth curve. So make sure it's a smooth curve, please, which it is there. It's got to go through every single point. Even if you miss out by a little bit, you'll lose a mark, so don't do that. And that's it, right. Draw the box plot below it. Right, it says on the lowest mark was 9 and the highest mark was 52. So here we go. Your lowest mark was 9, there it is. Your highest mark is 52. Your median, which I've worked out here, sorry, I should have mentioned that. Your median is the middle one, so it goes up to 80, so it comes out as 40. Lower quartile is 20, upper quartile is 60. And I've written the figures down the bottom. So it's these things that help to make up this. So the median is 28, which goes in there. Lower quartile, 19. Upper quartile, 36. So there is your box plot. You get 3 marks for that. You've got to then compare these 2 box plots together. There's lots you could say, but here's what I've chosen to say. This is what the mark scheme advises. The median average on paper 2 is higher than on paper 1. I've actually quoted what the medians are as well. The range of marks on paper 2 was bigger than on paper 1, and again I've quoted what they are. And I was just trying to show off here. I've said that the interquartile range on paper 2 was bigger than on paper 1. And the interquartile range is the upper quartile, take the lower quartile. So that's something you've got to know. But anyway, 2 marks for that. Put down as much as you can. Next one is question 21. There we go. This one I don't like very much, but I'll tell you how to do it. Here is a line. Point P has got the coordinates 2, 1, so I've labelled them on. Point Q is 14k, which is there. The gradient of line PQ is 3, 2. Work out the value of k. So you know point Q is 14, but you don't know where it is. This is the way I've done it, and this is probably a bit basic, but it seems to work for me. If the gradient is 3 over 2, that means for every 3 down, you go 2 across. So what I've done is gone from here knowing that that is 2, across 2 and up 3, across 2 and up 3, across 2 and up 3. And I've kept going across 2. And to get from 2 to 14, you go across 6 times. So that means I must also go up 6 times. And I'll go in bunches of 3. So I go up 6 threes or 18 times. But because I start on 1, that means that will be 19. So that is how I worked out that one. Okay, question 22, circle theorems. If you know your circle theorems, this will be good for you because there's 2 of the nice easy ones here. You're told the middle one is 168, you need to work out this one here. If that's 168, that's 84, because the angle at the centre of a circle is double the angle subtended at the circumference. So this one here is double that one. Once you know that one, you need to spot that there's a quadrilateral inside the circle here. And you also need to know that, this, opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180 degrees. So that, add that, must make 180, so that's why that one is 96. I'll put my explanations there, so you can pause it and have a quick read, should you wish. The answer is 96. Question 23, next one, probability trees. I don't want to talk about this one too much, but the key bit here is that she eats the sweet, so they are not replaced. They are not replaced. The big difference that makes is, because it's 3, 4 and 2, there's 9 in total. So orange, strawberry, lemon, 3 out of 9, 4 out of 9, 2 out of 9. Once you've done the first pick, which is this, then over here there'll only be 8 left, because she's taken 1 out. So let's just look at the top one. So to start with, if there's 3 oranges out of 9, if she did take one of those, how many oranges would be left? Well, there'd only be 2 oranges left out of 8. If she took an orange first, how many strawberries would be left? There'd still be 4 left, like there was to start with, out of 8, and there'd still be 2 lemon ones, like she started. Now, the question, so I'll let you have a look at that so you can see what I've done. I hope that shows up all right. The next bit of the question says, work out the probability, you get 2 marks for doing all that, by the way, that she picks, work out the probability that the 2 sweets Sally eats are not of the same flavour. Well, what you do for this is I've highlighted at the end of each branch the ones where they're not the same flavour. So I've multiplied, so 3 out of 9 times 4 out of 8 is 12 over 72, and so on. When you do that for the ones that are not the same flavour, you simply add them up. So you take all of these here and you add them up all over 72, so you have to add the top number. You will get 52 out of 72. I've simplified it here to 13 out of 18, but it does not ask you to simplify, so you do not have to. 52 over 72 will be absolutely fine. There you go. I'll leave that there for you so you can have a quick look. Next one, 24. Solve this. This is absolutely hideous. 2 ways of doing it. I'll explain one way very thoroughly, another way you can have a look at yourself. Right. To add this, you've got to cross multiply, which is basically doing this, and you need to know what cross multiplying is. If not, you need to go and look it up, because that's a skill I'm not going to explain here. So I'll cross multiply, and this is what you end up with. I multiply the bottom brackets out, and you end up with x take 2, x plus 3, which is x squared, add x takes 6. So this is what goes on the bottom there. Multiply the brackets out on top, so we end up with this. And like any good fraction, once your bottom numbers are the same, you just add the top numbers. So 3x add 8x is 11x, 9 take 16 is minus 7 over that. And let's go back to the original question. It equals 2. So we're trying to solve it. So that equals 2. I'm really sorry about this light, guys. It's really annoying me now. I don't know why it's doing this. I was just doing it to annoy me, I suspect. So anyway, we get to this bit. So you want to get rid of this bottom bit because you don't like divides like this. So to get rid of that, we multiply both sides by 2. So that's what I've done here. And so it's 2 times x squared, add x, take 6. So you get it like this, and you get all the x's on one side. So I've shown my workings there, so you can see what I've done. Pause it if you want to look through. So when you get to this stage, there's 2 things you can do. You can factorise it, which is what I've done here, and then you can work out that the answer is x is either 5 or it's minus a half, because you've got to have this bit multiplied by this bit to make 0, and the only way you can do that is for one of the brackets to equal 0. So if x was 5, this bracket would equal 0, and if x was minus a half, this bracket would equal 0. If you can't factorise this, because there's a coefficient of x squared and it's a little bit nasty, you could use the quadratic formula. And that is where all of this comes in. It's very long-winded, but they do give this to you at the start of the exam paper, and I'll leave that there so you can work through it, but you do get the same answer in the end. Okay, final question. Question 25. It's a vectors one. Vectors is usually quite, well, people always find it quite nasty, so let's see what we can do. First one, express in terms of A, B, what is P, R? Well, first things first, I've filled out some data from here. So PQ, that's A, and give the direction. PS is B, so from there, and you're told that QR is 2 lots of PS. So that means that from there to there must be 2B. Right, how do you get from P to R? Well, you go up there and you go across there. So that is A add 2B. And we know that's 2B because it's 2 lots of what P to S is. So there you go, A add 2B. The next one, work out SX. So S is there, X is there. So you're going to go back along there, up there and across here. First bits are easy, minus B, add A. And this is 2B all the way along, but it's 3/4 of 2B. And this is how you do your workings for it. 3/4 of 2B is, you can double 3/4 to be 6/4. 6/4 is 1.5. 6/4 is 1.5. So what you can do is put it all in a line. So you've got minus B, add A, add 1.5B. So you can do A, because you've got your A there, minus b, add 1.5b is just a half b. So it's a add 1.5b. That is how you do the last question. Not an easy exam paper by any means. I hope the light has come out okay. I'm very sorry it's been a bit funny this time. I'm not really sure why. We'll check it for next time.